Hi there. Trying something a little different here today. I'm trying to do this without my glasses on. As you can see, whenever I put my glasses on, I get this silly reflection coming right back to me from my screen. So I'm just going to try to do this without my glasses. Suffice to say, it's just a little bit challenging. So I'm going to be using my notes a little bit here. So if that's okay with you. But I did receive a question earlier today, and this is what it said. I said, I had an anxiety attack today, and I've been overwhelmed the last few weeks. So many emotions running through me. Any tips on how to overcome or deal with this would be much appreciated. Anxiety is starting to rule my life. This got me thinking about back in the day, 2001, and I think when I had my original panic attack. I was in seminary at the time, double mastering, and I was sitting on my couch working on a research paper just like any other night. And all of a sudden, I noticed my mouth went really dry, and I kind of went like that, and I noticed it tasted like copper. And I remember thinking, well, that's really strange. And as soon as I said that to myself, my heart rate started to beat through my chest, uh, very, very fast, as though I'd been running a marathon. And I couldn't catch my breath. I felt like something was pushing on my chest. I felt like my head was like shrink wrap or saran wrap, and I was wearing one of those Jewish yarmulkes. And I just remember thinking to myself as I was starting to sweat this cold, sticky sweat that I think I'm going to die. I think I'm going to have a heart attack in front of my 4-year-old daughter. So I did what any good guy does. I laid on the floor and I tried to make it go away strictly by the will of my mind. I kept shouting at it to just stop. I was telling my body, stop, 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 stop it. And the more I tried, the worse it got. So I asked my wife to call 911, and I was rushed into the emergency ward and the hospital. The doctors put all the gizmos on me and told me that they didn't think I had a heart attack, but they thought I had a panic attack or anxiety attack. That was the first time I had heard of it. Well, maybe not the first time I had heard of panic attacks or anxiety attacks, but the first time I'd actually really thought about it. And I remember asking them, well, what does that mean exactly? And honestly, they really couldn't explain what a panic attack is. They just say, it's just a panic attack. So let me explain to you what a panic attack is, first of all. Your panic attacks are your body's natural response to stress and stimulation. Panic attacks can be and are initiated by thinking fearfully or by just an involuntary action of your central nervous system all by itself. But mostly they're initiated by fearful thoughts. When your body's stress hormones rise, your amygdala, or the fear alarm in your brain, it's kind of like a smoke alarm in your house, okay? It goes off and it becomes more dominant. And the sympathetic aspect of your nervous system, which is the part of your nervous system that responds to stressful thoughts and moods, it's almost like it gets stuck on stupid. And your parasympathetic, the part of your nervous system that responds to calming thoughts and moods, has a harder time kicking in. That's why when we do have a panic attack, it's extremely difficult to be rational. The prefrontal cortex, the rational center of your brain, becomes subdued as well. We most commonly refer to this experience as a fight or flight response. That's the most common name. We like to call it the emergency response. But essentially, it's a sympathetic nervous response as well as an amygdala response, uh, overpowering your parasympathetic response. So here's some truths about what panic attacks are. So again, a panic attack is a spontaneous response to fearful thinking and or excessive unmanaged stress. Now, in the moment while you're going through it, you may believe otherwise, but trust me, you will never lose control. You'll never lose it. You'll never go crazy, and you won't go into an unrecoverable breakdown. Your stress hormones simply biologically can't lead there. Okay. So, no matter how out of control you might feel, you will always be in control of your thoughts and your actions. So, how do we respond when we have a panic attack? What are we supposed to do? First thing, I know it's hard, but do your best to behave calmly. Remaining calm will ultimately shut off the stress response, and eventually those panic feelings will subside. Allowing the stress hormones to just burn off naturally. is very important because once a panic attack has been triggered, it's important to patiently allow it to run the process. It's nothing you can do to stop what's already been started. It's going to run its course. Usually it takes about 30 minutes to the cortisol, which is the stress hormone most commonly triggered, for it to burn off, and then another 30 minutes for your body to recover. So I usually say give it about an hour. Okay. Remember also that these sensations, although very traumatic, are perfectly normal. Okay. You should not concern yourself with them. I mean, you wouldn't concern yourself with those feelings if you're actually experiencing a legitimate traumatic event. So there really is no need to be concerned now either. And also remember that panic attacks are fueled and sustained by fear. So you need to learn to change the channel from fear to calm. So take some deep breaths. One example would be to take about 8 to 10 slow, deep, relaxing breaths. The purpose is to activate your parasympathetic nervous response. So I like to recommend to my clients to take about a 2-second inhale through their nose and about approximately 4 seconds slow exhale through their mouth. It looks a little like this. Just like that. So take about 8 to 10 of those slow, deep, relaxing breaths. Focus on your breathing, focus on just slowing things down. And I thought I had a second page, and I do. Lastly, I want you to remember that every single panic attack will end. Your adrenal glands can only produce and release so much adrenaline, noradrenaline, or cortisol. And fear is the only thing that panic attacks can really make you feel. But you control that fear simply by choosing the thoughts you decide to think in response to them. And we can choose to engage them, we can choose to dismiss them. Engaging them will cause the panic attack to continue. Dismissing them will eventually allow it to burn itself off and shut itself down. So I would urge you, don't fight it, float through it, because fighting will only fuel it. Believe it or not, you control the panic attack. It does not control you, no matter how compelling it might feel.